If your Scorpio birth date was not mentioned in the first ranking, this doesn't mean you are any less powerful. In fact, some Scorpio birth dates carry a different kind of strength, not explosive power, but controlled, refined strength that often leads to long term success. Let's talk about the Scorpio born on these remaining dates and what makes their power unique. If you were born on October 24th, your strength comes from emotional awareness. You are someone who understands consequences early. You may think deeply before trusting people, and because of this, you often avoid mistakes others repeat. Your power comes from caution and intelligence rather than force. If you were born on October 25th, you carry natural balance between emotion and logic. You may feel deeply like all Scorpios, but you also have the ability to step back and think rationally. This gives you stability many others struggle to develop. Your strength is emotional control. If you were born on October 26th, you carry perseverance energy. You may not rush success, but you rarely abandon your path once you commit. This gives you the ability to achieve goals slowly but permanently. You win because you don't quit. If you were born on October 29th, your struggle is psychological awareness. You often understand motives behind people's actions. You can sense when someone is genuine and when someone is acting. This makes you very difficult to manipulate. If you were born on October 30th, you carry silent ambition. You may not always talk about your plans, but internally you are always improving yourself. Many Scorpios born on this date achieve success because they focus on progress rather than attention. You move quietly but effectively. If you were born on October 31st, you carry fearless transformation energy. You may go through major life changes, but instead of resisting, you eventually adapt faster than most people. This makes you very strong during uncertain times. Now let's move to the remaining November Scorpio birth dates. If you were born on November 8, your strength is mental discipline. You often think about long term security. You may be naturally good at planning, saving, or building stability once you focus. This gives you strong potential for financial success later in life. If you were born on November 9, your strength is emotional recovery. Even when hurt, you slowly rebuild yourself without needing validation from others. This creates inner toughness people may not see. Your resilience is your advantage. If you were born on November 10, you carry powerful determination. When you decide something matters, your focus becomes intense. Distractions rarely stop you once your mind is made up. This gives you the ability to achieve what others only talk about. If you were born on November 11, you carry a real initiative energy. Many Scorpios born on this date have very strong instincts. You may often feel warnings or opportunities before they become obvious. Learning to trust this intuition can change your life. If you were born on November 12, your strength comes from insight. You often learn from observation instead of mistakes. You watch how situations unfold and adjust your strategy accordingly. This gives you quite wisdom. If you were born on November 13, you carry persistence combined with emotional depth. You may go through emotional tests, but instead of giving up, You become stronger through experience. You don't just survive difficulty, you learn from it. And here is what connects all these Scorpio dates. Your strength may not always be obvious in youth, but it becomes very clear with maturity. Many of these dates produce Scorpios who become stronger after age 28 or 30 because a life experience activates their natural discipline and emotional intelligence. Your power grows through understanding yourself. Another thing many of these Scorpio dates share is self correction. When you realize something is not working, you adjust. When you realize something is not right for you, you distance yourself. When you realize your goal matters, you commit fully. This adaptability creates long term success. You may also notice something else about yourself. You prefer stability over chaos, you prefer loyalty over popularity, you prefer progress over drama, and this mindset protects your future because many people lose energy chasing attention. Strong Scorpios build strength by protecting focus. If your birth dates was mentioned today, understand this. Your strength may not always look dramatic, but controlled strength is often the most powerful kind because emotional control plus patience plus intelligence creates unstoppable progress. And this is why many Scorpios born on these dates eventually reach stable positions in life, not by luck but by consistency. If this message resonated, commented your Scorpio birthdays, then please try to subscribe and share the video. Now let's move to next part and next line. Here, your strength is usually not obvious at first, Scorpio. Many of these Scorpio birthdays are what astrologers sometimes call late bloomers, not weak, just developing power in a different way. While some Scorpio shows intensity early, your strength builds through experience, observations, and emotional maturity. And this often creates something even more powerful controlled Scorpio energy. You may notice that earlier in life you were more patient than others. You watched more than you spoke. You learned more than you showed, and sometimes this made people underestimate you. But underestimation is often the greatest advantage a Scorpio can have. It's really because while others are being noticed, you are preparing. Many strong Scorpios born on these remaining dates develop what is called quiet confidence. You don't need to dominate the room. You don't need to prove you are strong. You simply become strong and people eventually notice you. Another thing many of these Scorpio birthdays experience is self reliance. At some point, you realize you cannot depend on everyone emotionally, and instead of becoming bitter, you become independent. You learn how to calm yourself, how to motivate yourself, how to rebuild yourself. This creates emotional stability, and emotional stability is one of the rarest forms of power today. You may also notice you became more selective with age, less interested in impressing people, more interested in protecting your peace, less interested in many friends, more interested in the real ones. This is Scorpio maturity activating. Strong Scorpios eventually realize something important. Energy is more valuable than attention. And once you start protecting your energy, your life becomes more focused. Many of you may also notice you don't react to things the way you used to. Situations that once upset you now just teach you. People who once bothered you now just show you who they are. This is emotional evolution, and emotional evolution is a real Scorpio strength because anyone can react emotionally, few can remain compassed. Another hidden strength many of these Scorpio birthdays develop is decision clarity. You may take time deciding, but once you decide, you rarely go backwards. This protects you from instability because hesitation disappears once you trust your judgment. Strong Scorpios also often develop powerful personal rules, not rules forced by society, rules created by experience. Rules like never ignore red flags, never explain your value to people who don't see it, never stay where respect is missing, never repeat a lesson life already taught you. These rules create stability, and stability creates power. You may also notice something interesting about your growth. Every difficult experience improved your standards. Every disappointment improved your judgment. Every setback improved your strategy. This is how Scorpio turns pain into advantage. And this is why many Scorpios become very strong decision maker later in life because your choice come from experience, not from fantasy. If your birth date was among these remaining dates, your biggest gift is usually emotional structure. You learn how to think before trusting. You learn how to observe before committing. You learn how to protect your future self. And that create something powerful. Respect. Not forced respect. It's natural respect. Because people trust those who show consistency. And consistency becomes your silent reputation. Another trait many of these Scorpio birthdays develop is endurance without drama. You may go through difficulty without announcing it. You may solve problems quietly. You may rebuild privately. This makes your strength real instead of performative because real strength does not need witnesses. It shows in results. And if you look back at your life, you may realize something surprising. You are much stronger now than you were 5 years ago. Not because life became easier, because you became wiser. That is Scorpio progress. You may improve yourself instead of complaining about circumstances. You adapt instead of collapsing. You adjust instead of giving up. And this mindset always wins long term. If you watched all parts of this Scorpio series, then this message is probably meant for you. Your Scorpio strength is not random. Your resilience is not accidental. Your emotional depth is not weakness. It is preparation. Preparation for stability. Preparation for authority. Preparation for becoming someone who cannot easily be shaken. And if you are already feeling more focused, more calm, and more selective recently, that is growth. That is your Scorpio energy becoming refined. And refined Scorpio energy is extremely powerful because it combines emotion, logic, experience, and patience. That combination is very hard to defeat. So if your Scorpio date appeared anywhere in this series, remember this. Your greatest competition is not other people. It is the version of you from yesterday. And if you keep improving like you have been, your future will look very different from your past. Coming to your Scorpio dates below if you watched all these two parts and combined Scorpio rising if you know you are becoming mentally stronger every year. Subscribe to Cosmic Insight Daily if you want more deep Scorpio insights like this. Because when Scorpio understands their own nature, they stop doubting themselves. And once Scorpio stops doubting, their rise becomes inevitable.